What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the physique update of our reigning Miss Olympia Samson. And I have got to say how quickly the tables have turned, because had he did not win the Olympia this year, just 6 weeks back, many of the people would have been trolling him on this update, calling it filtered and all that stuff. But Samson earned the respect of every single bodybuilding fan out there by showing up at his all-time best, not just in terms of conditioning, but also in terms of the pure muscle and all of the improvements that he was able to make from this year's Arnold to this year's Olympia. Now the thing is, the Olympia was supposed to be a Derek and Hadi Choopan showdown, especially based on what happened in the last two Miss Olympias. But Samson arrived at this year's Miss Olympia to spoil the party, and that he did. But that being said, all of those people who had a real eye for bodybuilding, they pressed on this fact so many times that if Samson puts it all together, if he nails it, if he brings the conditioning, or if he closes that conditioning gap between him and Derek and Hadi, he is gonna be Miss Olympia no matter what. And the reason was, he has just so much superiority in the shape and structure department. Now you look at this current physique update of Samson, and there is nothing more to say, other than the fact that he looks so massive, and also in an incredible condition, while weighing more than 330 pounds. Now, we have not seen an Olympia champion like Samson for almost 2 decades now, who weighs so heavy and still has a good midsection and such aesthetic lines. And there is nothing more Samson has to do but to stay in his own lane, keep doing what he has been doing all along, keep on improving, and he is gonna be just so damn hard to beat. He probably has the best chest development in the men's open class. His arms have improved plenty over the years. He has those insanely massive quads, and if he just continues to make improvements, especially in his back area, especially the way he did from 2023 to 2024, there will be literally no weaknesses on Samson no weak points whatsoever front to back. Now, as far as this upcoming Arnold is concerned, I have got to say someone needs to step up, because as of right now, it is Samson's show all day long, and the only guy who can really challenge him, that is Andrew Jacked. So the bodybuilding fans have a very short-term memory, especially in this current day and age, and the way media has just ignored and forgotten about the former Miss Olympia, Derek Linsford, after him losing the Olympia title. That is a solid proof of that. Now, I don't think Derek got the respect that he deserved as a Miss Olympia champion, and I can actually see what was the sole reason for that. And I think a lot of you guys will agree with this. It was the fact that a majority of the bodybuilding fans, more than half of the bodybuilding community, they did not agree that Derek should have won the Olympia title last year against Hadi Choopan. And not just the Iranian fans, a lot of bodybuilding fans in general. And not just that, a majority of the former IFB pros, some of the legends of the sport, they all had Hadi Choopan winning that show. And this year, 2024, this was Derek's chance to prove himself, to solidify his legacy. But unfortunately for Derek, he was unable to do that. Now, that being said, Derek is still very young, only 31 years old, which means he has more opportunity for growth than both Hadi and Samson. And the whole industry is already acting like it is already over for Derek. He is done for good, because in my opinion that isn't the case. Now, it wasn't just Derek's legs that appeared smaller this year, because he was just too massive in the upper half. But in terms of conditioning, according to the judges, this wasn't his best look. And that is something which can happen no matter how hard you diet, no matter how hard you work, no matter how hard you prep. So Derek was able to put on much needed muscle on his frame, especially in his chest and his delts. The man appeared a lot harder in those areas. So if he can put all his focus on growing his quads for next year, which I'm sure he will, he is gonna be right up there, fighting for the title once again. But I'm sure you guys do get the idea how someone would feel when the entire scope of bodybuilding, of the industry, that is taken away from you as soon as you lose the title, and now that there is a new king in town. So do let me know what you guys think. Can Derek make a comeback and shock the world just like Jay Cutler did back in 2009? Next up, we have an update from the legend, the 7 times Miss Olympia champion, Phil Heath. Now, as far as I can remember, Phil Heath did not hit this type of classic pose during his time as a competitor. But here he is, rocking it at the age of 45. So those were some of the best arms in the entire bodybuilding history. And even though Phil Heath has been retired since 2020 for almost 5 years now, and he has dropped over 20 pounds, but his arms being one of the best in the game, they still reflect on his physique. Now, can we have a mutual consensus that there isn't gonna be another like Phil Heath, especially in the near future? No one stands out that much. Nobody is that dominant. And the fact that we had 6 different Mr. Olympia champions in the last 7 years, that is a very solid proof of that. So what is so great about Phil Heath, and especially his arms? Because some of the guys, like Nick Walker, Michael Crizzle, they have bigger biceps than him. The difference is the quality. Phil had the perfect ratio of everything. The biceps, the triceps, the shoulder, and even his forearms, they were so insane. And what's funny is that he wasn't even directly training his arms for most part of his pro career. His coach Hani Rambert said in an interview that Phil's arms would just grow, no matter what he did. Now I really like the way Phil has totally changed the vibe of him being a villain in the men's open bodybuilding, especially after his retirement. Now I'm not gonna lie, he was very cocky during his entire Olympia reign, and honestly the way he won all those Olympia titles, he earned that right, and I think all of you guys will agree with that. Next up we have the physique update of another retired IFB pro, Juan+Matheus, a man with 7 IFB pro wins, including the prestigious New York pro win. So how much weight do you guys think Juan has dropped since his retirement? I think easily over 30 pounds. So his current weight, that is 215 pounds in this physique update. And we have to keep in mind, he's a very tall guy. So he competed somewhere in the 240s or maybe in the 250s. Now Juan had the same genetic weakness as we were seeing with Andre Presti and a couple of other guys. He had enormous upper half but weak legs. But in Presti's case, the imbalance is even more evident. So Juan also had an insane upper body. The chest, the delts, they were full blown, and he was as strong as a guy like Branch Warren, and his training style was also the same, where nothing was even close to textbook form when it comes to training. But the thing is that worked for him. Now Juan retired from competitive bodybuilding at such a great time before all these genetic freaks, they arrived in the men's open class, and he focused entirely on growing his business. So how do you rate his current physique? He trains only 30 minutes and only 5 days a week. Juan+Matheus and Matheus Menegate, they had the most impressive Olympia debuts this year. Now if you are able to place top 10 out of a total of 60 guys, the best classic physique athletes in the world, then there is something impressive about you. Now I want to dedicate this thread to Matheus, since he posted a very interesting Q&A on his IG story today, and that was about his transitioning into the men's open bodybuilding. And if he does that, I'm sure some of the guys in classic physique, they will be relieved, because he is just a perfect fit for classic physique division. And I can definitely see him moving up the ranks in classic physique Miss Olympia next year. So I have no idea if Matheus is already maxed out for classic physique. Let's just hope that that isn't the case, because the thing is he needs more muscle, especially more chest. His quads are already amazing, great aesthetics, great V-taper, great conditioning as well. So with CBum leaving such a great vacuum to fill in classic physique, and him leaving such a great mark in bodybuilding after making such an impressive men's open bodybuilding debut, more and more classic physique guys, they're gonna look towards that opportunity to compete in the men's open. Now in Matheus' case, he is probably staying in classic for a long time, as he also made his pro debut just a few months ago. So the question about men's open, that is all about getting more traction. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.